Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. Ladies and gentlemen, don't get scammed. At the end of this video, I'm going to leave a short message. That way you know how not to get scammed in the comments below. Now let's get to this video. Everything that we've been talking about for a very long time now, I see that it's coming to pass. And I see that it's going to come to pass at a faster rate in this year 2023. Look, I was at Costco yesterday. And we didn't have any eggs. Well, we have like a half of a carton of eggs left at home. So I told my wife, let's stop by the dairy section and let's go ahead and get a couple of cartons of eggs. They had no eggs whatsoever. And then this morning, guess what happened this morning? My buddy came over who has chickens and he brought me some eggs. And look at this. Let me gross some of you out. They even still have the chicken poop on them. That's how you know they're real eggs. That's where community comes in, all right? We trade. It's a barter. It's a back and forth. But that's not what this video is about. Yes, it's about that there is a massive shortage of eggs, but we are now starting to see it in supermarkets. And here, Kroger shoppers report that a lot of empty shelves across supermarket chain locations, meaning that there's a lot of Kroger's locations in the lower 48 that just have empty shelves. And I highlighted a few parts of this article here to share with you. That way you can see that it's not just one store, but it's pretty much chain wide. And that is how it starts. It's not only eggs. Things are going to continually get more expensive as we've been talking, and we are going to start to see scarcity in a lot of things, not only eggs. So ladies and gentlemen, what are you waiting for? Get prepared. If you just happen to come across this video and you haven't seen any of my other videos, watch the video that I put up this morning. It pretty much shows you some of those things that you should be preparing and how to do it. Because it is important, ladies and gentlemen, that you listen to this message, be it from me or from someone else. Then go do a little bit of your own research, because if you do, I am sure that you will convince yourself that the time to prepare is now. A repeat of early 2020 when toilet paper and other essentials ran bare. The start of 2023 is seeing a lot of empty shelves at Kroger, according to numerous reports, some containing video evidence of lingering supply chain problems. Not only are Kroger shelves missing many essentials, but prices for things that are still in stock, most notably eggs, are skyrocketing and unprecedented levels, or to unprecedented levels, excuse me. And some of these things may be local, but eventually the system will be drawn down so much that even if where you grow eggs, let's say that you live in an area where they grow a lot of eggs or raise a lot of chickens that lay eggs. You may be like, well, we have a whole bunch of egg layers here, but if the system gets drawn down enough, only because you live in an area where there's a lot of eggs, it doesn't mean that the price of eggs is not going to go up for you. And the same thing will apply to everything else. And here they talk about a YouTuber that I've actually seen some of his videos before, Adventures with Dano. And he said, we are at Kroger and are noticing price increases on groceries and a lot of empty shelves. The video's caption reads, "We are here to check out skyrocketing prices and the empty shelves situation. It's getting rough out here as stores seem to be struggling with getting products." Now, have you heard about the nurse strike that's occurring in New York City? You know, it may seem like this has nothing to do with a nurse strike, what I'm talking to you about now. But in a way it does, ladies and gentlemen. Those nurses in New York City, they're asking for a $19 an hour raise. Why is that? It's because inflation is real. Inflation is not transitory. And prices of everything is going to continue to go up. So the economy is not as well as they're telling us that it is, and people are struggling in masses. When 74% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, what does that tell you? It tells you that the pay that they're making is not enough to keep up with inflation. And of that 70-something percent, about 10% of them make six figures. Imagine that, if you're making more than $100,000 a year and you're still living paycheck to paycheck. What does that tell you about our economy, number one, and what does that tell you about inflation and the price of things? Do you think that the price of things are going to go down? If you do, you're fine. All right, you're fine. But if you don't, you need to prepare for that now, because soon enough we'll find ourselves in the tomorrow that we hope never comes as far as prices are concerned. And when people see this word starvation, will 2023 become the year of mass starvation? When people see that word starvation, they kind of like say, yeah, whatever, you're just a fearmonger. Why? Because we've never really faced starvation in this country, for the most part. We've never really faced starvation, but can you see it now? Can you see it now with some of the statistics that I gave you? That so many people are living paycheck to paycheck, that people can't even afford to get the same amount of food that they used to get before with the same pay that they're getting now, that nurses are asking for a $38,000 a year raise just so that they can keep up with inflation. People are starting to buy other eggs because the store brands, the cheapest ones you can get, are getting really expensive. And I mentioned this before, we're going to see brands shrink, and we're going to see last year's regular prices be this year's sale prices. In the inflation department, Kroger appears to be jacking up original prices on items only to mark them down so that they can pretend that they're having a sale. And that's just a trick that they've used for a very long time. And for example, they say here that a sale for 5 pounds of mandarin oranges, $6.49, but that was after they jacked up the price to $7.99 to make it look like it was a sale. And that sale for $6.49 is actually more than what it used to be at regular price. So we're going to see a lot of these things from a lot of stores, not just Kroger, but it's going to be widespread throughout the industry. One person in Kentucky said the local Kroger store was so empty that it looked like it was in the process of closing down. An official from the company reportedly confirmed that, and that despite how it appears that it's still in operation and they're not planning to close it down. So it wasn't disarray because they just don't have the product. I remember doing a video a really long time ago saying, man, this place, I think I was going through a Walmart, but I was like, man, this place looks like a third world country. The way that the shelves are, so empty and sporadic things here and there. And now it's really looking like a third world country. And eventually that's what all supermarkets are going to look like, ladies and gentlemen. You have to come to the realization that there are so many factors involved in our food supply. So many factors, from the weather to geopolitical issues to inflation to people wanting to manipulate our food supply, right? People buying a lot of land and not farming it. The government paying farmers pretty much not to farm land. All of these things, the fertilizer shortage that we're having because of the fuel crisis that we're going through. There's so many things involved in our food supply. And it seems that a lot of these things are taking place at the same time. So do you see things getting better? Ask yourself that question. And if things look really good where you are now because you make $150,000 or $200,000 a year, what's going to happen when the price of food doubles by the end of this year? Are you going to be looking at things the same way that you're looking at them now, making $200,000 a year? You're going to be in the same place that that person who's making $100,000 a year now is, living paycheck to paycheck. And I'll tell you what, I'm so happy that I stocked up on powdered eggs. All right, I've got different powdered eggs from different manufacturers. I got some from Oxen Farms. I've got some, I think it's Emergency Essential, that I bought years ago, and now I have a whole bunch from Nutrient Survival. And when I bought those number 10 cans of egg powder, ladies and gentlemen, they were very inexpensive compared to what they are now. So imagine how much eggs are going to cost when they are available again, because they're still going to be in short supply, because the avian flu, as they say here, wreaks more havoc in Colorado egg layers and wild birds. And this is only Colorado, ladies and gentlemen. Here it says domestic bird slaughter hits egg market hard. Egg suppliers have been supplemented by shipments from other states. So like I was saying before, let's say that you live in a state where they have plenty of eggs. Well, when these states get hit up by other states to try to supply them with some eggs, your egg prices are going to go up as well. But recent outbreaks have hit producers in Kansas, Tennessee, Illinois, Missouri, California, and Oregon. Egg production in Colorado plummeted to a mere, this may sound like a lot, but it's not, 41.1 million eggs in October, or about 1/3 the number of the eggs from earlier months. Colorado's 6 million egg-laying chickens typically produce about 1.56 billion eggs per year. But in 2022, the number fell to less than 1 billion. That is a 33%, 35% drop in the number of eggs that they produce. That's a huge number. And then they say here that after slaughters of 260,000 and then 1.35 million birds in Weld County in December, Colorado has now seen essentially its entire commercial egg flock wiped out in less than a year. So they are wiped out in less than 1 year, and that's just one state, and they mentioned several states here that are seeing the same things happen in their states. So what I'm getting at here is this video wasn't about eggs. This video is look at what's going on with eggs now, and then go ahead and multiply that times different food products that you're used to eating today. Because trust me, with the thing that's going on with this volcano that erupted a little over a year ago. Yesterday I said that I thought it was about a year and a half ago, but no, it's been just about a year since that Tonga volcano erupted in the lower hemisphere of the Earth. And it's now completing its full cycle around the stratosphere, around the southern hemisphere of the Earth. There are going to be food shortages. There is going to be weather anomalies that we're not used to. Just like California right now is getting slammed by rain and rain and rain. And they're going to continue to get slammed for the next few days. People have already lost their lives due to all of that rain. I believe I talked about that during our last live stream. So ladies and gentlemen, the message is this: prepare the best that you can. If you've been putting off preparing because maybe some of your family members think it's a joke or you think it's a joke, you really need to consider what's going to happen when the things that you need to just eat, to survive, won't be there when you need it. If you only have 3 days of food in your pantry or in your fridge, you may want to consider getting a lot more than 3 days. Let me finish it off with this. I was watching a show about Japan yesterday, and I think they were going through the life of a Japanese worker. I forgot what it was that he was doing, a noodle maker or something, I don't know. But in Japan, a lot of the workers there, they live in small spaces, but they don't keep a lot of food at home. They usually eat out most of the time. Imagine if the supply system there starts acting like we've noticed here in the last couple of years, where things are erratic and they don't know if one day to another they're going to be able to get breakfast here or get breakfast there. So what I'm saying is that if you're prepared and you have those things that you need for an extended period of time, you don't have to worry about that. You can deal with it when the time comes, but at least you'll still be able to put food on the table. And this is not just with food. It's going to be with medicine. It's going to be with energy. It's going to be with a lot of things that we've been used to for so many years and that we've taken for granted. Don't take it for granted anymore. Make a list of those things that you use on a regular basis and then go out there and stock up on them the best that you can. Slow and steady does win the race. It just depends. The slower you are, the more you're going to pay because prices are going to continue to go up. Having said that, I hope that you heed the warning. I hope that you get something out of this. And thank you very much for joining in today. God bless every one of you. And stand by for the message that shows you how not to get scammed in the comments below, ladies and gentlemen. Don't be a victim. Don't give somebody else your money who's going to steal it from you, and money that you earned and had to actually work for and labor for. Take a look at the top message right here. That is not me. Now take a look at this one here in the bottom. This is me. And you will notice that next to my thumbnail, not only is my name kind of like highlighted in gray or black, but it also has a check mark next to it.